Hello and welcome to Thrive Within. I am your host, Marc Bucksath, life coach, educator, and someone who's passionate about helping you live more fully, honestly, and aligned with who you really are. This podcast is your space for real talk and focused coaching on things like confidence, purpose, boundaries, self-doubt, and personal growth. So whether you're on a walk, taking a break, or just giving your brain a moment to breathe, I am so glad you're here. Let's get into it. So I want to start with the question. Why this podcast and why now? In a world that's constantly telling us we need to do more, be more, hustle more, Thrive Within is your slowdown, your pause, your invitation back to you. Because true thriving does not come from doing more or achieving more. It comes from knowing who you are and living from that place, from listening to your own heartbeat, tending to your own inner wisdom, and building a deeper connection within yourself. This isn't about perfection, productivity, or another self-improvement checklist. It's about presence, alignment, and self-trust. It's about remembering your worth just as you are. Let me ask you something, but honestly, when was the last time you felt truly at home in your own skin? Not just comfortable or familiar, but genuinely connected to who you are when no one else is watching. And that's what this show is about. Because in the world that we live in, it thrives on distraction, on noise, on doing more, faster. And it's easy to start believing that if you just get the next thing right, then you'll finally be happy, finally be enough. But thriving doesn't come from chasing more. It comes from slowing down enough to hear yourself again. From pausing long enough to say, wait a second. What do I actually need? Thrive Within is an unlearning space, a coming home space, a space where your own rhythm is welcome. So much of your self-doubt doesn't come from truth. It comes from misalignment. And this podcast, it's a map back to yourself. Not a map of straight lines and perfect goals, but a trail of soft footsteps, quiet awareness, and tiny, brave choices. Each week, this space will meet you where you are. Some podcasts feel like a quiet morning, a soft grounding in the middle of a hectic week. Others will stir something inside, a challenge to reframe, to question, to rewrite your story. We'll cover things like how to stop waiting for permission to live your truth, the quiet power of boundaries that honor your energy, why rest is a radical act of self-respect, how self-doubt is often a whisper from your nervous system, not a life sentence. And always, it will come back to you. Why? Because you are the expert in your life. I'm just here to help you clear the noise so you can hear your own wisdom again. Enoughness over perfection. Let's begin with a small shift for today. Notice this. You are already enough. Not when you hit your next goal, not when your business grows, not when your relationships get fixed, but right now, you're enough. And let that land. Take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. And feel the worthiness settle inside. Perfectionism whispers that you're never enough unless you're doing more, looking a certain way or hitting a certain milestone. But true worth isn't earned. It's recognized. It's remembrance of something already present. When you believe you're enough, you don't settle for relationships that drain you. You stop over-explaining your worth. You don't over-apologize just to make others comfortable. And here's the shift. Being enough doesn't mean you never grow. It means that your growth comes from love and not lack. Let me give you an image. Imagine a sunflower in a field. It doesn't look at the sunflower next to it and say, it should be taller. It doesn't shrink when someone walks by and prefers roses. It grows towards the light, naturally, without rushing, without shame. That's enoughness. Quiet, rooted, true. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to stretch. But not because you're broken, but because you're already whole and becoming more of yourself each day. Years ago, I found myself in a season where I just couldn't keep up the performance anymore. From the outside, things looked fine. I had the title, the reputation, the rhythm, but inside, I felt like I was living someone else's life. I remember sitting in my car, just staring at the steering wheel after a long day and realizing I couldn't name a single moment I felt present. Everything was just reactive. I was checking boxes, fulfilling roles, but never really being me. I wasn't burned out in the way that people describe, where things collapse. It was quieter than that. It was like a soul sigh, a slow leak of joy. And when I finally slowed down, even just a little, the grief hit me. Grief for how long it's been gone from myself. Grief for the ways I kept adjusting to stay acceptable. The grief was my turning point. It reminded me that I didn't want to succeed at being someone I wasn't. I wanted to feel like me again. And now, through coaching, through this podcast, through every quiet practice, I'm still on that path. And maybe you are too. And that's why we're here. Let's try something together. If you're sitting, place one hand on your chest and the other one on your stomach. If you're walking, simply notice the way your feet touch the ground. And if you're multitasking, just breathe while you listen. And inhale slowly. 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now ask quietly, what am I feeling right now? You don't need a poetic answer, just an honest one. This is the core of coaching awareness. We're not trying to fix, force, or fabricate anything. We're practicing presence over and over. Because the more often that we return to ourselves, the easier it becomes to stay. Here are a few questions to walk with today. What version of me have I been performing to be loved? What would it look like to stop editing myself in one area of life? What's one small thing I could do this week to feel more like me? You don't have to journal or answer them out loud. Just let them live inside you for a while. Carry them like stones in your pocket. Just let them shift your posture, your presence. So let's get really honest. What is the definition of success that you're living by? Is it yours? Or was it handed to you by a parent? Or maybe a boss? Or a culture that worships hustle and visibility? Here's the truth. Real success isn't when your outer life begins to reflect your inner goals. It's not about status. It's about congruence. And here's what I've learned. The more that you define success from within, the less anxious you feel trying to prove yourself. You don't need to earn your worth. You just need to honor it. Try this today. Before you react to anything, pause for 3 seconds. Just 3. That pause could be the difference between resentment and honesty, between self-abandonment and self-honoring, between I guess I should and no, that's not for me. Pausing is the micro habit that leads to a macro peace. You deserve to experience a life that feels like yours, not just one that looks good on paper. So thank you for being here, for listening, and for choosing to return to yourself. This episode is the first step of many. We'll explore fear, confidence, boundaries, identity, stillness, and more. But the real work, it's happening right now. As you breathe, reflect, and remember who you are. And if something here stirred something in you, I would be honored if you shared the episode, followed the show, or left a kind review. If you want to go deeper, my books and coaching are always here when you're ready. You can visit me at guidedpathcoaching.crd.co. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You're already doing better than you think.